This is Ready Set Homestead, where the only fluff is the feathers. I'm Kale, and today we're going to be talking about predator protection. Some of the do's, don'ts, various things that you can do to help protect your birds and your backyard flock from predators. Just going to jump right into it. So one of the first things I want to talk about is something that a lot of people do, which is chain link. They'll go to a place like Tractor Supply, Home Depot, Lowe's, things like that, and they'll actually get some chain link, typically designed for dogs. These are great for dog kennels. They can be used when it comes to chicken runs. However, the big issue with them is the bottoms. The bottoms down here are rounded. So you're really gonna have to do some extra in-ground protection. Because it's so rigid, it's not gonna flow with the ground. So if you have any gaps in it, it makes it super easy for a predator to just get right underneath it. You also have to worry about the gaps in between. So you have areas like this, which don't seem like it would be a big issue, but if you don't have these clamped properly, you can get raccoons that'll squeeze in between them, in addition to predators that are able to reach through and grab your animals. Chain link fences are going to be good though for keeping animals like coyotes from going straight through, because it is designed to keep animals like dogs inside of it. Another popular thing, if you watch any kind of reels or shorts, videos, things like that, is you're going to see structures like this. You can get these from companies like Vivor. They're all over Facebook. You're going to see a ton of ads. You probably see them on Temu, things like that. So this is actually my neighbor's property. These are his chickens in here, and I actually sold him this. I got it from Vivor. And so this right here, this is called chicken netting. So this is chicken netting or chicken wire. And you can see it's held on with zip ties. So we have the zip ties in here. Now this, the primary use of the actual chicken wire is to keep chickens in, not predators out. So you can use something like this and it can be very beneficial. But the big thing is knowing the difference between a chicken run and a chicken coop. So this is the chicken run. Majority of predators that you're going to have are actually going to be coming at nighttime. So if you're using something like this to store your birds in at night, you might have some issues if you have any kind of canine or feline predators, because they would be able to just same thing as chain link, they'd be able to dig right under. Now you can see he has screwed this into the boards, and then he also has the runner boards below. This is going to add a lot more protection. You still could have an animal that digs underneath here, but he doesn't keep his birds out here at nighttime. Now, same thing with the latch here. And we'll go inside and say hey to these chickens. What's up, chickens? We'll close it up so they don't get out. We do have some nice shade, which is good, you know, for the sun. You don't want them just sitting in the sun. But this on the top is going to be good for aerial predators. Now, again, you have to know exactly what kind of animals you're dealing with. Do you have issues with hawks? Do you have issues with possums? Do you have issues with raccoons? Do you have issues with bobcats or mountain lions? You know, or do you just have coyotes and foxes, minks? There's a ton of different predators that can get to your birds. So same thing when it comes to this. You can see here, we have this big gap. So this would be something that would not keep like a raccoon or a mink or even a possum out. They'd be able to crawl up this and they'd be able to come in here. You'd want to put this all the way across if they're going to be staying out here during the nighttime. However, these birds don't stay out here in the nighttime, so it's not a huge issue because we don't have a lot of day predators. Most of your day predators are going to be those hawks. So this has the aerial protection. They're not going to get straight through. Now coming inside, you can see we have wood all the way around. And then we have the hardware cloth. So hardware cloth, and this is not chicken wire, this is hardware cloth. It's a lot sturdier. And you can see the gaps. He's actually built it up and secured it so that it goes all the way around. Sometimes you might have an issue with this. That's not really a big enough gap to worry about. Same thing with this one. That's not something that a predator would really get through, but he has it all the way through. You might have an issue here. So just stapling that up against, maybe one staple right there. I'll probably tell him about it when he gets home. But you can see inside here, the chickens are very, very safe and secure at nighttime. So during the night, chickens are automatically going to go inside. They don't like to hang out. You shut this, you lock it, and you're not going to worry about predators. When these chickens are inside there, a coyote is not getting inside this. A raccoon possibly could through the top. You're not going to have to worry about foxes, any kind of the ground, feline canines. They're not going to get into something like this. Same thing with aerial predators. So the really only issue that you might have with this, as well as up here, you can see we got a gap. The only issue that you could have in this coop area, in my opinion, would be something like a raccoon, a possum, or a mink. Now, we are next to a creek right here, so there are minks. We do have a ton of raccoons, and we do have possums. Now, possums are predators that are opportunist. They're gonna look for the easy. Most possums typically aren't going to try and go into a flock of chickens. They're gonna go for chicks, and they're gonna go for eggs. Raccoons with this, if this was lower, and he did good on this as well, because with the chicken netting, I've had this happen, a raccoon can stick its fingers through here, it'll actually grab the head of a chicken and pull it right through. It'll pull it right off. It doesn't even have the ability to get to it, but it pulls it right off anywhere, just because raccoons are mean. So let me show you what I have over on my property. All right, so I'm back over at my property, and the first thing I want to show you is what I do to keep out those possums or those raccoons. It's not foolproof, but it helps a lot. So you can see this down here. This is 2-foot electric poultry netting. So you can get much higher. This is solar powered. I'm going to show you the actual solar panel here. So this is the solar panel. So you get this guy, it runs off of solar, it plugs in, and it goes all the way through. So with this, it helps prevent those possums and raccoons from just coming straight through. It's not going to stop something like a coyote or a fox. Now, I don't have a lot of issues with coyotes in my yard. And the reason I don't have coyote issues in my yard is because I have 4 large dogs. My largest one, he's about 80 pounds. And most canine predators are typically going to avoid areas where they can smell that there is another canine. It's just not something that they like to do. So that's not a big issue for me. So I do have that electric wire that helps stop some of the raccoons and the possums from coming through on that side. The rest of the yard does have fenced in, but let me go ahead and show you my coops. So I don't have a ton of chickens right now. I do have my turkeys. Now, this is just welded wire. So it comes in rolls like this right here, and you just roll it out. Have it stapled in. Now, again, you can tell I'm not super worried about predators where I have. I mean, if a raccoon wanted to, it could easily crawl up in there. But I'll tell you what, thing 1 right there and thing 2, they do not do, well, I'll say raccoons do not do good with them. They are very aggressive when it comes to predators. And the way I can show you, I recently posted a reel and short where something tried to dig down in here. Now you can see I have the bricks. And that's something that I do for my entire coop, is I bury bricks underneath the line. A lot of people have commented and said that's not going to stop anything. Well, I can tell you, not all my dogs like these chickens and turkeys, and it 100% helps stop and deter digging predators from getting into them. You can also see I have the wood. So the wood, that's going to be the wind barrier. On this side, I do have these tied. You can, of course, get one that goes the full length. And if you really want to, because something like a mink can slide through these, it could get through this spot here. It could probably get through here. So if you really want to do that extra bit, you want to invest in some hardware cloth. Now, hardware cloth is much more expensive. That's what I showed you on the windows of the other ones. You can see the hardware cloth here. The reason that I have this hardware cloth on the inside and not the outside is that Tom and that Tom don't get along. You can kind of see them staring each other down right now. And that hen, she doesn't get along with anybody. So I had an issue with them pecking through. At one point, I actually had one of the hens reach through, grabbed a hen that was over here, and pulled her head straight through these. If a hen can do it, a raccoon can do it. So I had to put up this hardware cloth in order to stop that from happening. Now, same thing up here. This is something a raccoon could slide through here if it wanted to. So I could always put up here. With the turkeys, it's not as big of an issue. I have my few hens that are in here. And so the turkeys will get pretty aggressive, especially the toms, when they're feeling like they're in danger. So a raccoon is not going to take on something that big. A fox can't dig through. Luckily, I'm far enough away from the creek that I haven't had any issues with minks. Knock on wood. So what can you do to protect your coop? Well, some of the do's and don'ts that I really recommend, I do recommend building yourself a coop, something that you can actually put the chickens in, that they're going to be safe at the nighttime, because nighttime is when most of your predators are going to be active. So something that is sturdy, that has 4 walls that you can completely close in, that nothing can get inside of it. It has a solid ground base, not just ground, but you have wood or something like that on the ground. If you don't want to put wood on the ground, you can always take hardware cloth. You can even take the welded wire and you can bury it under the ground. One of the wildlife rehab facilities that I work with will actually take that hardware cloth or cattle panel and come all the way out about 18 inches to 2 foot and bury it under the ground to help prevent the animals from escaping. If a wildlife facility that rehabilitates coyotes puts 2 feet to keep them in, well, 2 feet will keep them out. The most durable thing that you can use in addition to the hardware cloth is going to be cattle panel or hog panel. So you can see my dogs here. This is that cattle panel. I have it attached here. So you can see these big fencing staples. The big ones are fence staples, the small one are poultry netting staples. But these staples right here attach this on. So I have a wood frame. I put the cattle panel up, and then you'd put your hardware cloth on top of that. Cattle panel stops the large predators. The hardware cloth is gonna stop the smaller predators. Now for height, you can see, we'll see if my dog will jump here. Hey, Porter, give us a good jump. Oh, you're being lazy today. So Porter over there, he may not look like it, but he's 80 pounds. He is a flat-coated retriever. He's a bird dog. He can jump a 6-foot fence if he wants to. So that behind me is actually 7 foot. Most coyotes are going to be able to jump a 6-foot fence. You can put what's called like a coyote bar, which is going to be a piece of PVC pipe on a roll. So you basically take a wire, you string it across, and you have the PVC pipe on top of it. So when they jump up with their paws, they slide off. But going 6 foot is really going to help prevent that. There are very few animals that can actually jump 6 foot. Of course, if you have a mountain lion, you know a mountain lion can jump 6 foot, which is why you're going to need to go to 8. Going back to our do's and don'ts. Do build yourself a solid structure for your animals to sleep at nighttime. Don't leave big gaps like this and expect that you might not have any losses. Do invest in the hardware cloth, which is much more rigid and much more durable. Don't just use chicken wire and then wonder why all your birds are dead. Don't leave a lot of feed outside like I've done right here. Leaving feed outside can attract all sorts of animals and predators of varying types. Do secure your feed inside solid containers. Storing your feed will help protect the feed, and it also helps keep a lot of vermin and predators away. Don't think that you know everything. There's always more you can learn. I've shown you a lot of things that I've said you shouldn't do, having learned from experience with the predators that I have in my area. Do your research. Figure out what kind of predators you have in your area. Again, there's a lot of things that I've shown you on my coops that I've said not to do. I know the predators that are in my area. I also know that by not having these completely secured, I'm risking losing some of my animals. Do the research. A quick Google search, a quick Facebook search. Get onto your local Facebook chat for your area. You're gonna see messages about coyotes and foxes and hawks and things like that. But don't discredit the knowledge that other people have. Do listen to people. Do take what they have into consideration. And don't put your homesteading or farming into a box. Every area is going to be different. The predators that I have here are different than the predators that are 200 feet away at my neighbor's house. There's gonna be a learning curve. You might lose some animals. The most important thing to remember is give them a secure place to sleep at night. Give them a protected place to roam. If you're free ranging, you might have to worry about aerial predators. However, most aerial predators don't like large flocks. They don't want to risk getting attacked themselves, so they're going to search for the outliers. You can always get a fake owl. You can always play radio. I have a friend who actually has about 400 chickens, and she plays talk radio at nighttime in her coops to keep away the owls, because owls don't like the sounds of human voice. So secure them at night, give them a safe place to run during the day, keep your food secure, and just do a little bit of research on what you have in the area. I wish you the best. If you got any questions, feel free to ask. You can always check out our Facebook page, YouTube page, whatever you need. This is Ready Set Homestead. Enjoy homesteading.